Take a look at Bob's Track Builder Pro, which I think it was last week I picked this up on Steam. If you don't have Steam, or you don't know what Steam is a place where you can get all of your games and keep them in one place. If you switch computers or you move to another state or another country, you can still access your stuff. You don't ever lose it. And that's what happens to me most of the time. I lose stuff that I purchase, but I don't know where it is. So this is what I was looking at when I first started it, except I've changed this to a black background. It had a white background, and it was kind of hard to see what I was doing. So I'm just going to build a small track. So we're going to come up here and we're going to click on a closed loop track. We're going to click OK. We're going to start our first node, and then we're going to come down here with our second one, and then we'll put one there. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to click on Move Node and Control Points, because our track really doesn't look like much of anything right now. So we're going to move it around a little bit. I want to take that end and turn that so that we're going in the correct direction that we want. Pull that out. You can widen that curve by pulling these handles on either side. We're also going to pull this out. So we can widen that curve. And we'll straighten this one out as well. There you go. Somewhat oval piece of track. But we don't have to leave it that way. We'll take this node and we'll pull it over here. Now we'll click on that, and that allows us to subdivide this piece of track. And so we'll click on it and we'll split the curve into thirds. Now we have 3 different sections here, 2 more points that we can grab. Pull that over there. And we'll pull this inward a little bit. Pull this over so that it makes a decent curve there, not too tight of a pin. And we have this one over here. We'll pull that in. And then we're going to take this and we're going to split this. And I'm just working kind of quickly here because really this is not rocket science. It's not hard to do. You can do this pretty easily. You can build a track that you like, and that's usable in your game pretty fast. And I had known there was something like this because I've seen a couple of tracks that had this same sort of look, the basic look you would get when you first start to do this and you really don't know what you're able to do yet. So there we've made ourselves a track, and we have that track over here in this pane. So let's go up and click to drive it so we can see how it looks when we're driving it. It's pretty simple. They throw some textures on there, and it really doesn't look bad. The pin curves are not bad. They're drivable, and they're not folded up on themselves. That's something I learned to watch for, to make sure that I left enough of a radius so that I could make the turn, or my drivers could make the turn without having problems. Now, if you want to, you can also raise the track. So I've got that highlighted. We'll come down here to the bottom and we'll just lift it. Let's see, there we go. We lifted it up. Now we have a little hill we have to rise up to and then come back down from. Let's go click on this one. Let's make this end of the track low. There we go. So we've got a low end of the track and we've got a high end of the track. You can see the way we've kind of pushed it up on one end and taken it down on the other end. Now, as a basic track, that's pretty good, I think. So what I would do next is come here to terrain, edit the surrounding terrain. Well, we don't have any terrain yet, so by clicking on that, we're going to add some terrain. So you can choose between 1 and 4 panels. And I would say don't click this and build it more than once, because it will continue to build layers underneath the other one. It should actually have some sort of a feature built in where it tells you you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, but it doesn't. So let's start with let's go with 2 panels, and let's put this on the inside, which would be the right. Well, the left from what we're looking at, so the left. You can set the distance of those, how much each panel is going to go, right? So we'll make the second panel a little bit wider. Oh, went the wrong direction here. Call that 45, and we'll make the last panel 70. And I'm going to go with simple because it works. It simply works. I like it a little better, but if you want advanced, you can come here and you can pick everything that it does. I don't want that. I'm going to go with simple. I don't want it to stay level. I want it to be, let's say, mostly downwards. All I got to do is click on create. There it is. Now as we drive around here, you can see that it's created all this land on the inside. We're going to drive around it again just to make sure that there are no problems with it. There don't appear to be any problems with it. It's not folded over anywhere. Sometimes that can happen because you build your pieces too close together and the track folds over, and even though it's not supposed to do that, in fact, I clicked the box that said that it wouldn't do that, but it still does sometimes. So there's the inside terrain. Now let's take this over here so you can see what I'm doing. This is what I did. Now we're going to go to the right hand side. I want the right hand side to go up because that way I have a background that you can see from pretty much anywhere in the track. So I'm going to go 4 panels, and we're going to take them up. Like so. And we're going to go, instead of mostly upwards or mostly downwards, I'm going to go upwards. Create. There you go. Now you could turn that into a rock face or whatever, I guess. And that would be pretty much all you would have to do with this track. There's going to be a couple of areas, I think, that you're going to need to build something for. I think there's a bare area right there. You can see you're going to have to do something with that area. But other than that, this thing is done. And in fact, if I'd have put that on 4 instead of 3, we probably could have took care of that. But that's okay. We will take care of that. So this is it. I'm done with that. Now I'm going to come up to File. I'm going to click Export. This dialog box is going to come up. I'm going to save it to D Models DirectX. That's the directory I chose. You can choose your own directory, wherever you want to save it to. And I'm going to export it. And that is it. We've made it. Now we'll shut off Bob's Track Builder. And we will open up Ultimate Unwrap. And we'll open that file. Come down here to DirectX. This is just my model directory. We're in DirectX, and this is what we ended up with for files. Now, we'll open this. You have 19 files. We'll open this in Ultimate Unwrap. Okay. And what we imported first is the road itself. So now we're going to go piece by piece and import the rest of it. You can see we have the road and we have the grass on the side of the road. So if you select that, you'll see that's the road part. You select this, this is the edges on both sides. Okay? Right there. I'm going to move that over a little bit so that we don't run out of room here. Okay, now we're going to start merging. File, merge. So we're in the DirectX directory. We're going to start with 0 and we're going to go to 19. So 0. Dark street, dark day, one way. Reminds me, I say, no way. Can't do anything about what you thought you knew. Beauty in between 17. Reality I see, she's so serene. Girl's got everything, everything you want her to. And if you find mine's a little hard to take, and you think your own way can get you there, just spit me out, walk yourself away. Ain't nobody anywhere really gonna care. Now the whole thing is imported, and as you see, as we did that, it listed them in the material box and added them. And the same thing for groups, because then you can decide where they're going to be and where they're not going to be. But there is the track you just built. And the only thing that really is lacking is some UV work. It's really simple to put the UVs on this. You come to materials, you choose what you want to put the UVs on. Here's the road. Double click. Maps. There are none. Choose a map. We'll come over to our libraries, and in the libraries I have textures, so I can come to texture files, and I can come to, I believe it's under roads, road right here. I have several different kinds of road that I can add. Old asphalt, new asphalt, striped asphalt, cracked asphalt. Every time I make one of these textures or use one or purchase textures, I save them so that I can come to this particular directory and choose what kind of a road I want. So let's try this one. And it's that easy. I just put that on there. That's it. Our road is textured. Now if we come to the side, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up to select, and I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to deselect the road, and I'm going to deselect the part right next to the road, the sides. So now everything else is selected, and we're going to take that and we're going to assign it to this particular file, the third one in line. You can assign it to whatever you want or add a brand new one, but we're going to assign it to that to get out of this having 19 different sections. But if you wanted to have 19 different sections, you could texture each one differently. You could put a little waterfall feature in one, small little town in another. I'm just going to paint it all the same. So I'm going to assign all of it to that third one. And I'll come up here to groups, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, now we'll go to groups, and we'll prune. We should get rid of quite a few, 22 groups. And we'll prune here, 22 groups. You open this back up, we've just got the 3 now. And so let's take this and assign a texture to this. Maps, bitmap, properties. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the asphalt. Only this time we're going to back out of the road, and we're going to come to, well, let's take grass. Grass will work. And we'll choose this one. And that's a 512. Most of these are 512s. There's a 2048. That should do really well. And we're going to tile that, of course. And so it does that automatically for you. Let's unselect it. And if you zoom in, you'll see you have a grass texture on the side of the road now. All of that is textured. Now, I'm showing you this for the purpose of showing you how easy this is to work with. I would probably do something different than this for a long-term project. I would take my time and I would probably do panel by panel, but I'm trying to show you how fast you can do this. So then you have the ground in between the track and the grass. So we'll put a texture on that. And we're still in the grass directory, so we'll back out of that. This I would probably spend quite a bit of time with and create a custom file that blended the two things together that I want. But for the purposes of moving on, we're just going to pick something else and texture it. We'll go to ground. And let's pick this. You can see it's already on there. So it's a little dirt berm at the side of the road that goes from the road to the dirt to the grass. So now, I don't know how long that took us here. We've been recording for 23 minutes. And in 23 minutes we went into Bob's Track Builder. We built this track, and then we took it into Ultimate Unwrap, and we put basic textures on it that would actually look fairly good if driven on. This one, I'm not so sure. But this one, we can take that and we can change the way that's going to appear because it's mapping the entire piece. So we'll scale it uniformly and make it larger, which will make the rock side of the road actually smaller, or the dirt side of the road. It'll actually appear to be smaller than it is because we're spreading it over a larger area. So that blends in a little bit better. But what I would do is I would take that file, I would probably take it into Photoscape, and I would take part of my road and blend it into here in places. Take the file itself apart, stack it over to one side. You can actually do that here. We'll go back to selecting it. Now we can take our 2D tools and we can orient the islands. This will allow you to move your textures to where you want them to be. Or if you have textures that have to go in a certain way, you can do that with this tool. We'll go for horizontal. It's working on it right down here. And it's done. And if you click off that, you'll see that it lined them all up the same way. It did that automatically for you. And so that if you had textured that and put part of your road on one side and part of your grass on the other side, it would line them right up for you. That's what it did. All the way around the whole thing, it took them apart and textured them and lined them up correctly for you. So you don't have to do that. But anyway, there is your new track or area or scene to begin building on. You've got a road. You've got a set of boundaries here on the side by building that up. You can also use walls in Bob's Track Builder. And that's it. You got the whole thing. You can save it as an X file or an FBX or an object or whatever you're working in, whatever type of game maker you're working, and you can use it. You can use it. You can set the parameters on whether it's going to be a skin mesh or a rigid body. You can use it in RAD very easily. You can import it and use it. You can scale it, whatever you want to do. That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you come back to watch some of my other videos.